Hi guys, Dr. Tom Neblett here with 4 Points Family Chiropractic. I want to welcome you back to our Living to 100 webinar series. Each month we share different healthy living topics with you, as well as strategies to help you and your family experience lifetime wellness. This month we're going to be talking about sleep and its impact on our health. We're going to talk about how much sleep you really need, what happens when you don't get enough sleep, and how to make sure you get the best night's sleep possible. I chose this topic this month because so many of our patients tell us they struggle in this area, and full disclosure, it's an area I've struggled with in my life as well. So some of what I'm going to share with you comes out of my own research I've done to help myself. Now, for anybody who struggles with getting a good night's sleep, I want to encourage you to have a pen and paper ready, all right? During the second half of this webinar, I'm going to share a large number of strategies with you to help you get a better night's sleep. You might want to write some of those down, okay? Now, if you miss something, we will post this webinar later on our website. So you can check that out later on if you need to, or you can share it with somebody else who struggles with trying to get a good night's sleep. If you go to www.fourpointschiropractic.com, across the top of the page, click the More button, and in that drop-down menu, you'll see a Watch a Workshop tab. If you click on that, it will take you to a library of 30 to 40 different workshops on different healthy-related topics. So there's a lot there. If you see another topic, this webinar will be right on the top. If you see something else there you'd like to listen to, we just encourage you to take advantage of that. It's there for you. Now, if you're new to 4 Points Family Chiropractic, our office is located at the entrance to the River Place subdivision on 2222 up in Northwest Austin. We serve local communities in the Northwest Austin area, but in addition to that, we have patients come to our office from all over Austin and the surrounding communities. We're humbled by all the people we get to serve. We hope we can serve you as well if you're new. So let's talk first about the importance of sleep, all right? While we're sleeping, our body and mind are being repaired and restored. When you go to see an auto mechanic, what happens? They turn the engine off, right? Same thing happens when we're sleeping. So sleep is just as important to our health and our life as eating, drinking, and breathing. You stop drinking, what happens? You stop eating, what happens? We have to have sleep. It's essential to every single process in our body and affects not only our physical and mental health, but also our emotional health. All right, our immune system and our ability to fight disease is also developed while we sleep, as well as defense against developing chronic diseases. In addition, people who don't get enough sleep are 4 times as likely to suffer from concentration problems and 3 times more likely to be depressed. Brain and nervous system function, as you know, is absolutely critical to us functioning in a healthy manner. And when we don't have adequate sleep, the brain can't regenerate properly. As a result, functions diminish, so it's very important. Now, inadequate sleep has been shown to cause weight gain and obesity, and is responsible for an increase in heart problems. People who consistently get less than 6 hours of sleep a night are 48% more likely to die of heart disease and 15% more likely to have a stroke. People over 65 in this situation are 83% more likely to have high blood pressure. So that increases, obviously, our risk for heart disease and stroke. Studies have also shown that sleep loss depletes the immune system, making it more likely you'll get sick. Now, after all we've gone through these last 2 years with the pandemic and everything, obviously it's as important as it has ever been that we take advantage of every opportunity we can to boost our immune system. Sleep has a very powerful impact on that, so sleep's important to make sure not only that we fight off the current virus, but anything else that shows up in the future as well. If that wasn't enough, sleep deprivation is responsible, this is a crazy statistic, for over 6,000 fatal car accidents a year involving people who fall asleep at the wheel. So getting enough sleep is literally a life and death situation. So the next question obviously is, how much sleep do we need? Experts say adults 18 and over need 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night. Teens need more, 8 to 10 hours of sleep a night. Children, even more. They need 10 up to 12 hours of sleep a night. So quantity is important, but quantity is not the only thing important. Quality is also important, the quality of our sleep. See, when we sleep, we don't just close our eyes, go into unconscious mode, and then wake up. we actually go through 4 stages of sleep while we're sleeping. And these stages all together are called sleep cycles. And we go through 4 to 6 sleep cycles each night. Each cycle lasts somewhere between 90 and 110 minutes. The first 2 stages of sleep are called light sleep. All right. Most of us spend over half of the night or over half of our sleep state cycles in these 2 stages. Stage 1 is the dozing off stage. All right. This is where we're just beginning to fall asleep. We're most easily aroused. If you've ever awakened, whatever the right word is there, and felt like you were falling, you were probably in stage 1. This stage only lasts a few minutes as we begin to drift into stage 2 sleep. Stage 2 sleep is where our heart rate and our breathing begin to slow down. The way that they identify these different stages is by changes in brain waves. All right, so during stage 2, the brainwave process begins to slow down as well. Stage 2 is where we spend most of the night. That's the longest stage of sleep that we have. All right, again, usually over 50% of our sleep are in stage 2. But during this time, we begin to drift further into deeper sleep. Eventually, we get into what's called stage 3 or deep sleep. This stage, very important. It plays a role in helping us feel refreshed and alert the next day. Our heartbeat, breathing, brain activity all are at their lowest levels, and our muscles are as relaxed as they'll be. Experts tell us that this stage of sleep is critical to restorative sleep, allowing for both recovery and growth. Our immune system and other key body processes like metabolic functions, hormonal functions, they all balance and optimize themselves while we're in this particular stage of sleep. So very important. During this time also, as far as brain function goes, we develop insightful thinking, creativity, and memory. All these things are impacted. Now, deep sleep lasts for 30 to 40 minutes during the early cycles of our sleep. But the longer we sleep, the more cycles we go through. The deep sleep begins to last shorter and shorter amounts of time as we drift more and more into stage 4 sleep, which is also known as REM or rapid eye movement sleep. You've probably heard of rapid eye movement sleep. All right, that's something we're fairly familiar with. The important part of this sleep is this is where cognitive functions like brain development, memory consolidation, learning, and emotional processing are optimized. REM sleep is the time where we have our most vivid dreams. REM sleep's different from the other types of sleep. During REM sleep, our brainwave activity actually increases. It almost gets to the point that it looks similar to what our brainwave activity looks like while we're awake. Our breathing picks back up, our heart rate picks back up, but our muscles go into a state of paralysis during this time, probably so we don't act out. Now, the longer that we're asleep, the longer our REM cycles last. Again, as I mentioned before, we start spending less and less time in deep sleep. And later on in the night, in later sleep cycles, the REM cycle can last as long as an hour. Typically, we don't enter into REM sleep stages until we've been asleep for anywhere from 60 to 90 minutes. So it takes a while to cycle into REM sleep. Cycling through these sleep stages is very important because that allows the brain and body, as I mentioned, to recuperate and develop. Failure to obtain enough deep sleep or REM sleep can cause profound consequences on our thinking, emotions, and physical health. So the reason I mention this is back to the quality I mentioned earlier. People who wake up frequently during the earlier stages of sleep due to sleep problems like sleep apnea, restless leg syndrome, insomnia, snoring, they may not get to go all the way through a sleep cycle, all right, and not get into the deeper sleep or REM sleep. And plus, every time we wake up during the night, we start a whole new cycle. All right, so that's why it's so important that we sleep continuously through the night and don't wake up multiple times. Now, a lot of people struggle from difficulty sleeping, and insomnia is one of the most common reasons that people have trouble sleeping. There's several different ways insomnia gets categorized, but the 2 I want to talk about today are onset insomnia and maintenance insomnia. Onset insomnia is where we have trouble falling asleep, all right? Maintenance insomnia is where we have trouble staying asleep, or if we wake up, have a hard time going back to sleep. The strategies I'm going to share with you in just a minute affect, but will positively impact both of these stages, but I just want to differentiate those two sleeps. Obviously, if you've got maintenance insomnia, you're going to have a hard time cycling through the cycles that I mentioned. So it's important to find strategies. Now, stress and anxiety are common causes of insomnia. Also, our lifestyle habits play a big role in how well we sleep. When we do things like exercise at night, look at screens while we're lying in bed, drink caffeine all day long, all these things can negatively impact our sleep. So if sleep is a problem, we have to look honestly at our lives, at our lifestyle decisions we're making. And if we want to make changes in the quality of our sleep, if we identify things that aren't serving us, it's going to require changes. Sometimes underlying conditions and pain can cause sleep problems. So if you or somebody you care about is dealing with conditions that are interfering with their ability to sleep, we want to help. If you'll give our office a call at 512-345-9355, we'll set up a comprehensive examination that includes any necessary x-rays, and then we'll follow that appointment up with you to review all of our findings. And if we find we can help, we'll help set up a treatment plan for you to help deal with these problems, to help you get a better night's sleep. Now, normally these services are valued at $348, but if you call our office and mention this webinar, we'll do them for only $99, all right? And then included with your paid initial appointment, we're also going to give you a memory foam cervical pillow we sell in our office for $50. That's yours to help you get the best night's sleep you've had in years, all right? So if that's something that you want to have us help you with, or you know somebody we can help you with, please give our office a call. Now, I mentioned second half, we talk about strategies. That's where I want to go with you now. These are things that you can implement to help improve your sleep. This is where you might want to write some of these things down if this is a problem area for you. The first thing we're going to recommend is that you view your bedroom as a sleep sanctuary. Make sure that your bedroom's set up for optimal sleep. You should reserve your bedroom only for sleep, intimacy, and restful activities like reading or meditation. It's also important that you make sure you've got a comfortable bed. Obviously, if your bed's not comfortable, it's going to be hard to sleep, and you need to make sure your room is quiet. If you're dealing with noises that you can't avoid, then it's a good idea to set up some kind of white noise, like a fan, or maybe have your phone playing some kind of ambient noise. You want to make sure that your room is as dark as possible. That's very important. A sleep mask can help, but our skin has photosensors in it, so you want to make sure you don't have any night lights. If you have LED lights in the room, the red light on your TV, the green light on your cable box, digital alarm clocks, you might want to cover those up. If there's any light leaks, make sure you block the light leaks so you don't get light in there. That's a very important way to make sure you get the best night's sleep possible. And then the other piece of this is you want to avoid getting on screens once you go to bed. Ideally, you want to make sure you have at least a 30-minute buffer time off of your screens. A lot of experts recommend as long as 2 hours before you go to bed. So one of the things you might want to do as part of making your bedroom a sleep sanctuary is have a screen ban in the bedroom. What happens when you get on those screens, the blue light that's part of screens interferes with brain activity in establishing a circadian rhythm, which is what it's called when we're sleeping. And the brain doesn't secrete melatonin, which is your relaxation hormone, the way it should, because it gets confused. The last thing I want to mention is you want to make sure your bedroom's cool. Experts recommend somewhere between 65 and 72 degrees is going to be an optimal temperature. It's hard to fall asleep in a hot room. Now, the second thing is you want to set up a consistent sleep routine. All right, so you want to make sure, number one, that you're sleepy before you go to bed. Things that you can do that can help with relaxation: reading, meditating, journaling, perform some kind of relaxing activity like gentle stretches, maybe even a hot bath. Those are all things that can help calm your body down to tell your body you're getting ready to go to sleep. We recommend that you try to set up a consistent sleep cycle. Go to bed at the same time every night, get up at the same time every morning. Patients that are in shift work can have big problems because of this factor. If you have different sleep cycles on the weekend than from the week, again, what it does is it messes up your circadian rhythm so your body doesn't establish the rhythm it needs to help you sleep better. Another thing that you can do as part of your nighttime routine to help you fall asleep is to perform diaphragmatic breathing exercises. All right, if you're not familiar with those, what we encourage you to do is take 5 to 10 deep breaths through your nose, where you inhale for a few seconds, hold that breath for a few seconds, and slowly release through your mouth. What that does is, again, calms the body down, slows down the heart rate, activates the parasympathetic nervous system. I'll talk more about that in just a minute, but it helps with relaxation. Sometimes the reason we can't fall asleep at night or stay asleep at night is because we don't burn up all our energy during the day. So making sure you have a consistent exercise regimen in your life is another important thing that you can do. But you want to avoid doing strenuous exercise within 2 to 3 hours of bedtime. Otherwise, you're in a heightened sense of activity in your brain and in your muscles when you try to go to sleep. Exercise that can help. Strenuous exercises, aerobic exercises. Things like brisk walking, jogging, swimming. All these things can help you not only fall asleep, but stay asleep and also get more deep sleep. Again, just don't do them right before bed. What you can do just before bed that can help with relaxation, I mentioned before, is gentle stretching exercises. Also, a lifestyle thing that it's important to check is what you're eating and drinking and when you do that. So you want to avoid eating a large meal within 2 hours of bedtime. Otherwise, your body's busy utilizing energy to digest your food as you're trying to fall asleep. You want to limit your alcohol intake late at night. Even though alcohol is a sedative, as our body begins to break the alcohol down, the metabolites it breaks down can wake you up during the night. Make sure you're not drinking caffeinated beverages, coffee or tea, or soda after 2 p.m. Caffeine tends to stick around in our system. And if you drink till 2 or 3 in the afternoon, you can have 25% of that caffeine still in your system as you're trying to fall asleep at night. So limit your caffeine intake if you're having a hard time sleeping. Make sure you're not doing that later in the day. Also, if you're somebody who struggles from getting up a lot of times during the night to go to the bathroom, don't drink any fluids within 2 hours of bed. All right, that'll help cut down on your need for nighttime urination. Another area I want to talk with you about, if you're one of those people who lies in bed and can't fall asleep at night, one of the things that's recommended is don't stay there if you're still trying to fall asleep 15, 20, 30 minutes. If that's the case, get up and go in a different room. You need to go ahead and break your brain cycle of thinking. In the other room, you can do relaxation exercises. You can do reading, meditating, gentle stretches, deep breathing exercises, journaling. One of the things that I've done in the past, because this has been a problem for me at times, I'll lie there thinking about what I need to do tomorrow, what I need to do next week, what I need to do a year from now. A technique I utilized was called a memory dump. I keep a journal by my bed or in another room, and when I find I can't fall asleep, I get up, I write down everything that I'm thinking about. All right, it's called a memory dump, and then go back to bed. If I wake up during the night again, same idea if I can't fall back to sleep. The key piece of this is the next day. You get up, you review your journal, and you turn your writings into a to-do list. All right, and then you begin to work on your to-do list. What that does is it tells your subconscious mind that's not trusting your conscious mind to follow up on these things that you got it. What I found is when I begin to do this consistently, I can fall asleep better at night because my subconscious mind lets me go to sleep. The last thing I want to mention is one of the things that you can do that is very beneficial in this area is chiropractic care. When you get adjusted, what happens is adjustments move your body from a sympathetic state to a parasympathetic state. What that is, there's 2 major operating systems in the nervous system. There's the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system, all right, is the part of the nervous system activated when we're under stress, all right? It's the part of the nervous system activated to meet a threat of some sort. So if you spend all day long stressed out, then what happens as your stress level increases, you try to go to bed at night and your sympathetic nervous system's activated, and it's not going to let you fall asleep very easily. So we have to find a way to shift into a parasympathetic state. Parasympathetic nervous state is where you're calm, you're relaxed, and you're able to fall asleep. Many of the techniques that I mentioned before activate the parasympathetic nervous system. When we adjust you, it suppresses the sympathetic nervous system and activates the parasympathetic nervous system. It's very common for parents to bring their kids in with colic and other kind of agitated states. We adjust them, and where they didn't sleep for 2 nights before, they fall asleep on the way back to bed. Very rewarding to watch that. So that's another benefit of chiropractic care I want to share with you. So in closing, all right, I've covered a lot of information with you today. I hope you found it helpful in your journey to better sleep and better health. As I mentioned at the outset, we want to help you and your family achieve lifetime wellness. So if you or somebody you care about has trouble sleeping, constantly complaining about being tired all the time, we want to help. If you'll call our office, mention this webinar. We're offering a comprehensive spinal examination that includes any necessary x-rays. And as I mentioned before, a follow-up appointment to not only review our findings, but if we find we can help set up a plan to take care of any underlying conditions and help you begin to achieve the sleep that you haven't been achieving. Our services, normally the value of these services is $348. We're offering it for just $97 if you call and mention this webinar. In addition, we're going to include with your first appointment a memory foam chiropractic cervical pillow that's designed to help you get the best sleep that you've ever had in your life, hopefully. All right, so if you'd like to take advantage of this, we would love to help you with that. Give our office a call, 512-345-9355. The topic for our webinar next month is going to be Healthy Back to School Boot Camp. Dr. Haley is going to be discussing strategies with you so you get your kids off to a good start going back to school. She's going to talk about how to stay safe on and off the athletic field. She's going to discuss backpack safety strategies with you, and she's also going to go over proper posture. All right, so please join us, particularly if you got kids. We're going to have some very important information for you. Again, I'm Dr. Neblett, and on behalf of Dr. Mary, Dr. Haley, and Dr. Ross, as well as our entire staff, I want to thank you for taking the time to be with us today. I hope this webinar was helpful, provided some strategies that you can put into place immediately. We're happy to discuss these further with you at your next appointment. Also, be sure and ask your doctor for our Better Sleep checklist that we have for you at your next appointment, and that has some additional tips that you can put into place when you go home. Bottom line is, we want to show you a better way to better health. All right, bye for now.